I am Dr. Anthony Rhem, Knowledge Management and Artificial Intelligence Thought Leader, CEO and Principal Consultant of A.J. Rhem Associates. We are a consulting, training, and research organization based out of Chicago. I'm also involved with the AI Policy Exchange and part of the founding editorial board of the AI Ethics Journal produced by Springer. So what I want to talk about today very briefly is how to put AI ethics into practice. The first thing that I would look at in doing so is establishing or adopting a sound AI policy and standard. Knowing that there are several policies and standards that the companies are putting out there now, there is exactly, in particular, there's one that I like and leverage, and that is the AI policy and standard produced by the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And that organization is a consortium of several countries, corporations, thought leaders in AI that came together to produce an AI policy with this international cooperation. So I feel that this is a sound policy to first start with, to give you the framework to start implementing ethical AI. The next aspect of this that I want to bring up is having a diverse AI product development team. And what I mean by diverse is a collection of people on your team that have different cultural backgrounds, different experiences, different focuses within technology and within AI in particular, to bring that richness of thought to the table and be able to have a conversation and ideate around the development of AI applications that will broaden your view of what is possible. And that same mindset has to be taken into account when developing AI applications, especially ones that use machine learning. Machine learning is very heavily data dependent. And starting with data, understanding that you have to weed out bias and produce ethical data that will be used to train the algorithms, I think is the first step in applying AI ethics to your applications. Part of the data identification for your machine learning applications is the data preparation part of the machine learning development journey. And so understanding that, you want to bring a diverse team to the table to understand and give you a variety of understanding and focus within that data collection stage. And also it will help with the data cleansing, weeding out bias in the data. And so that is a core fundamental aspect of implementing AI ethics within your AI applications. And I think that's fundamental of any AI application that uses machine learning. So having a sound AI policy and standard, having a diverse team would bring that diversity of thought to the table. And the next thing is to really focus your AI implementation to have a more people or human-centered approach. So what I mean by that is understanding that who your users are for your AI applications. Understanding what effect will they have on the people that are using them, or the effect that the people that the systems are used upon. For instance, facial recognition. One, you have to understand the data and how the data is interpreted using facial recognition. And so that goes back to understanding the makeup of the dynamics of the team that actually is understanding the data that's being collected and cleansed, and to build the model the algorithms in a way that it would weed out as much bias as possible, because we all have inherent biases, but having that collective diversity within your team helps to weed out that data, and that is translated back into the facial recognition program. And so also you want to have understanding of who is using your AI applications and for what purpose. And so going back to the facial recognition program, law enforcement, different other organizations, government organizations, I guess, really use facial recognition. So you really have to have that understanding in mind when you build your applications. And also, another one that comes to mind is autonomous vehicles. And the ethical dilemma there is autonomous vehicles will replace jobs. Will replace people in jobs, and so there'll be less human drivers, human in the loop. As far as the logistics, you may insert humans in certain aspects, but that is going to continue to evolve, and so that's an ethical issue that we need to deal with as well. So that people, a human-centered approach is very important in implementing AI ethics into your AI applications. The other point that I want to bring to the table is, once you implement your AI applications, you still have to monitor them to make sure that they are still meeting the ethical standards that you have established. So early on in your development, your design process for your AI applications, you need to establish a set of metrics you want to capture around that, a set of key performance indicators, the KPIs you want to capture. And so with that lens moving forward in your design, development, implementation of your AI applications, you keep that, these are the metrics we want to capture when it comes to these particular applications. But also the key performance indicators are something that you will continually use to monitor your AI applications, that is putting out the intended results, that is not creating any unethical or bias within the results, not adversely influencing decisions based on the results from the people that are using them. So that's constant monitoring has to happen. And the one thing about AI applications, and you want to be able to peel back the covers and see, can you explain how the AI applications came to a certain decision, and be able to break down the decision path to understand, okay, within each data point being analyzed in the decision path, is it meeting our ethical standards to deliver the type of decisions, influence the decisions that we intend. And so we have to also understand that different industries will call for a different type, a different set of ethical response, or the AI applications within different industries will have a different challenge that we have to meet. So, AI is affecting a multitude of industries: healthcare, financial, talent management, logistics, like I mentioned before. It's in the military, manufacturing. It's going to be infused in every walk of life over the next 5 to 10 years. It's rapidly getting there. And many aspects of AI that we have to be mindful of. And so understanding that, each industry will have its own ethical challenges and dilemmas. We have to be ready to address those. And going back to the AI, adopting a sound AI policy and standard that includes ethical, addressing ethical issues is key. Is a key roadmap to address AI ethics within different industries, as well as with the applications that you develop.